Whoa, 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 we, you and me and you, it's the Danny Karron Show. Danny Karron here. You know what's good? I mean, really good. It is really good. It's Angelface art, and it's very inspired by the 1980s glam rock, hair bands, hair metal, Gem and the Holograms, big crazy hair of the 1980s. It's fantastic. It's visually inspiring. I like her artwork. I like her artwork so much. I made a video about it, and then in this video, we're going to learn more about Angelface or Angela. And I gotta tell you, it's very exciting stuff. You should definitely check out her artwork. It's really cool. And yeah, so if you love the 1980s, you're gonna love her art. So please welcome Angela. Yeah, woo! Oh, here she comes. Da na 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 bum. Hello, Angela.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thank you for stopping by.
No problem.
So, what inspired you to be an artist?
Well, actually, it's a funny question for you to ask. It's funny how things came about. I always had a love for art, but going through my school years, I never felt it was something that I was good at. So I always had a love for it, but I never really developed it until now. And what inspired it to get developed was the pandemic. The reason why I say that is because during the pandemic, I was experiencing a lot of anxiety about the coronavirus and possibly contracting it because I'm a particular individual who's diagnosed with cerebral palsy, requires 24-hour care, and I require a lot of people to be coming in and out of my home. So that was causing me a lot of anxiety. I was constantly listening to the news, as I'm sure many other people were, and it was causing a lot of stress. I was constantly thinking about being hooked up to ventilators, and it just wasn't good. So I had to find an activity that would distract me from having so much stress. And art kind of channeled through me, I want to say, through God, because it was just like every day would come a different idea, and I would just be inspired to put it on canvas and see what came of it. And before you knew it, we had 10 pieces that we were able to put into a collection.
I noticed that about that you started your I guess production company like this year, like during the pandemic months. So I gotta say,
Yes,
pretty cool stuff, I might say.
thank you. I hope it inspires a lot of people if they find themselves, being stuck at home and still being afraid of the pandemic and things that might happen. It's normal to, be afraid of that stuff. But what I want to say to people is try not to let it consume you. This is the time where a lot of people are home. They have a lot of time on their hands, and we all have choices, whether we're physically disabled or not. We can either turn it into a positive choice or a negative choice. And if we turn it into a positive choice, you'd be surprised what might come out, as you can see, as a result of this collection. So I encourage people to really think about what their passions are. Maybe they have something that they never thought they were good at, or maybe they have something that they were thinking about revisiting that they never had the time for before. This is the perfect time for everybody to really, think about those things and see what they could accomplish.
Right. So I understand that you're going to be going to a lot of art shows. Is this upcoming art show, is this your first one?
Yes, this is my first one. The response for this particular event that we have coming up has been overwhelming. I'm happy to see it's received an overwhelming positive response, and I'm hoping it goes well enough. I already have enough material ideas to put together for a second and possibly a third show. So the second show will possibly be in the next 2 to 3 months, hopefully, and then we'll see the next one after that. I'm hoping to be sometime in the new year.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, what do you like about the 1980s? Like, I see like a lot of 1980s like everywhere, and well, not. I wouldn't say everywhere, because there's that one picture where, you know, you have the sunflower, and the sunflower is not really, it doesn't really belong to any decade. It's a sunflower. But, like, there's a lot of glam rock themed paintings that you have, and you also have American Graffiti.
Yes. Well, anybody that knows me or grew up with me or, you know, spends a lot of time with me will totally know that I'm a total 80s girl, from the hairstyles to some of my clothes to some of my musical influences. I'm definitely still, I get made fun of a lot because people tell me I'm stuck in the 80s music-wise, but I feel like it was such a fun decade, and I have so many positive memories growing up during those times, and it's just, it was a time for people to have fun, and when I hear music specifically, I feel like it puts me back to those times and relieves a lot of the stress, to where, you know, it was just about having a good time, and the culture and the break dancing and the graffiti. That's where all that artwork basically came from, was I reflected about those memories that I was having about growing up during those times. I was in Brooklyn till about the time I was 4 years old, and I moved out to Long Island when I was 5. So you get kind of both sides of me and my artwork. You're going to get a couple of beach scenes for the influence of growing up on Long Island, and you're going to get that city graffiti type influence as well, because that's the first half of my life. That's how I grew up. So.
Yeah. I love the video games from the 80s. I love the hip hop from the 80s. I love Back to the Future. Like, I have a lot of Back to the Future things floating around my house. Ghostbusters. You know, There Is No Dana, Only Zool. And so I got a question for you. Which is better, DC Cab or American Graffiti?
I like American Graffiti. I think that was pretty good.
I knew you would say that. I had a feeling in my gut that you would say American Graffiti.
Yeah, definitely. It was totally, you know, immerses the whole culture of the 1980s. I thought it was really good.
So besides American Graffiti, what's some of your favorite movies from the 1980s?
Oh gosh, there's so many of them. Two like the ones you mentioned. I'm a big Back to the Future fan. I love E.T. What's another one that I like? 1980s movies. There's so many of them. 16 Candles, all of the Molly Ringwald movies. I'm a girly girl, so I'm into The Breakfast Club. I love all those movies. All the John Hughes movies. All of them.
Awesome. So I'm going to guess that you used to watch Gem and the Holograms?
Yes, when I was little, that was my favorite cartoon, because I always imagined that I wanted to be this big, empowering girl, and lo and behold, I also wanted to be a rock star growing up, a pop star. So that particular cartoon embodied both of those things and kind of made me feel like I was living vicariously through the cartoon. So
I like
definitely
that.
one of my favorites.
I like that. So I would like to have you come back on the show, because I understand that you also have a musical career.
Yes, we're trying to get that started. We have a couple of exciting things planned, so I would love to be able to come back and share that with you as well.
All right, we'll do that. We'll schedule something after this interview, and we'll do it up.
Great, awesome. I look forward to it.
Awesome. I look forward to it too. So this is Angela, and you know what's funny? Before I say goodbye, I want to point something out. The theme song to Taxi is it's called Angela. Bonus. Now here's a bonus for you. You ready for this? The first episode of Taxi came out in like 1978 or 1979. But I felt like that's a cool coincidence right there.
Yeah, definitely a cool one.
Anyway, this is Angela. What she's gonna do is she's gonna leave her contact information and the information for her upcoming art shows down in the comments below, in both on the fan page on YouTube and the fan page on Facebook and on the YouTube video itself. So if you want to see more of her art, she'll show you the way. And well, you know who I am. And that's it. Angela, thank you for chatting with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for having me again. I look forward to seeing many of you at the next show.
That's right. See ya.
Bye.